Hello students, in today's lecture we are going to solve some questions of the chapter Motion in a Straight Line. NCERT exercise 2.1, 2.22, 2.8, 2.10, 2.14. Disclaimer: the images, text and other materials used in our presentations are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners. If you are the owner and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the content immediately. Please note that parts of the content may have been generated using generative AI, which is experimental. So, our first question: in which of the following examples of motion can the body be considered approximately a point object? So, there is some options. A is a railway carriage moving without jerks between two stations. Option B, a monkey sitting on the top of a man cycling smoothly on a circular track. Option C, a spinning cricket ball that turns sharply on hitting the ground. And option D, a tumbling beaker that has slipped off the edge of a table. So here you have to find out the which one is the correct statement. Think about it. So a object is considered a point object when its size is negligible compared to the distance it travels or the scale of the motion being studied. Its shape, size and rotation do not significantly affect the motion under analysis. So, solution: option A option. The size of a carriage is very small as compared to the distance between two stations. Therefore, the carriage can be treated as a point size object. B is the size of a monkey is very small as compared to the size of circular track. So here size of circular track is greater than as compared to size of monkey. Therefore, the monkey can be considered as a point size object on the track. Point size object means when the size is negligible compared to the distance it travels or the scale of the motion being studied. C, the size of spinning cricket ball is comparable to the distance through which it turns sharply on hitting the ground. Hence, the cricket ball cannot be considered as a point object because the size of spinning cricket ball is comparable to the distance through which it turns sharply. This is the reason. If we talk about the D, this is also cannot be considered as a point object because The size of beaker is comparable to the height of the table from which it slipped. Due to this, beaker cannot be considered as a point object. Clear? Two point three. A woman starts from her home at 9:00 am at 9 o'clock, walks with speed of 5 km per hour on a straight road up to her office 2.5 km away, stays at the office up to 5 pm and returns home by an auto with speed of 25 km per hour. Choose suitable scales and plot the xt graph of her motion. So here you have to plot the xt graph of her motion. Think about it. So speed of the woman according to question 5 km per hour. Distance between her office and home is 2.5 km. So the time taken is equal to distance divided by speed. So here distance is 2.5 km and time taken and speed is 5 km per hour. So dividing it, you will be get 0.5 hour, or we can say 30 minutes. It is given that she covers the same distance in the evening by an auto. Now speed of the auto is 25 km per hour. In that case, what will be the time taken? So time taken is equal to distance upon speed. So distance is 2.5 kilometer and speed of auto is 25 km per hour according to question. So solving this, you will be get 1 by 10. 1 by 10 means 0.1 hour and 0.1 hour means 6 minutes. The suitable xt graph of the motion of the woman is shown in the given figure. Look at here. So woman starts from her home. Suppose this is home. Woman starts from her home at 9 am. Listen carefully, at 9 am. Walks with speed 5 km per hour. After that, from he reaches office at 9:30. At 9:30. This one. After that, the speed of the woman is 0. So this one, constant speed 0. She travels 0 distance. 0. Now at 5 pm, she returns home by an auto with speed 25 km per hour. So when she returns by an auto, the time taken is 6 minutes. This one. So starts at 5 pm and ending 5:06 at 5:06. So this is the graphical analysis, or we can say suitable scales between x and t. Clear? A drunk walking in a narrow lane takes 5 steps forward and 5 steps forward and 3 steps backward, followed again by 5 steps forward and 3 steps backward. Listen carefully. And so on. Each step is 1 meter long and requires 1 second. Plot the xt graph of his motion. Determine graphically and otherwise how long the drunk takes to fall in a pit 30 meter away from the start. So here you have to find out the time. Think about it. So the xt graph of the drunk motion can be shown as this one. X on y axis, vertical axis, and on horizontal axis time. So according to question, distance covered with one step is 1 meter. So firstly, we see the graphical analysis. So according to question, 5 steps forward and 3 steps backward. So, and each steps requires 1 second. So 5 steps required how much second? 5 second. So 5 second. So this one 5 seconds. 5 second. So 5 steps forward. 5 steps forward. And then 3 steps. 3 steps means 3 second. So 3 steps backward. Then again 5 steps forward. So 8 plus 5, 13. So 5 steps forward. Then again 3 steps backward. So 13 plus 3 steps means 3 second. So 3 seconds backward. Then again 5 steps forward. So 16 plus 5, 21. Then again 3 steps backward. 3 step means 3 second, because each steps required 1 second. Then again 5 steps forward and then 3 steps backward and then 5 steps forward. So at 37 t equal to 37 second, the drunk person takes to fall in a pit. Clear? So this is the graphically. Time taken 1 second. Each steps equal to 1 second. So time taken to move first 5 meter forward is 5 second. Yes or no? Time taken to move 3 meter backward is 3 second. So net distance covered by the drunked person is 5 minus 3 equal to 2 meter, because he moved forward 5 steps, then backward 3 steps. So 5 minus 3 equal to 2 meter. So this is the net distance. Net time taken to cover 2 meter is 8 second. Why 8 second? Because first 5 meter forward the required time is 5 second and 3 meter backward 3 second. So net time is 5 plus 3, 8 second. Clear? Drunk covers 2 meter in 8 second. 2-meter step in 8 seconds. Drunk covered 4 meter in 16 seconds. 6 meter in 24 seconds. Drunk covered 8 meter in 32 seconds. In next 5 seconds, the drunk will cover a distance of 5 meter and a total distance of 13 meter and falls into the pit. So net time taken by the drunk to cover 13-meter distance is equal to 32 plus 5, 37 seconds. A car moving along a straight highway with speed of 126 km per hour. Here the speed of car is 126 km per hour is brought to a stop within a distance of 200 meter. What is the retardation of the car? Assumed uniform. And how long does it take for the car to stop? Think about it. So here you have to find out the what is the retardation of the car. First, second, how long does it take for the car to stop? And given that speed is 126 km per hour. So initial velocity of car u is equal to 126 km per hour. So when we convert kilometer per hour is equal to in meter per second, so it will be 35 meter per second. Final velocity of car v is equal to 0 because it take for the car to stop. So final velocity is 0. Distance covered by the car before coming to rest s is equal to 200 meter. And retardation produced in a car is equal to a. From the third equation of motion, a can be calculated as, third equation of motion is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So just substitute the value of final velocity is 0, initial velocity 35 meter per second and equal to 2 into acceleration a, and total distance covered by the car before coming to rest is 200. So solving this you will be get the value of a. So value of a is equal to 35 into 35 divided by 2 into 200 with minus sign. So solving this you will be get a equal to minus 3.06 meter per second square. So this is the retardation of the car. Next we have to find out the how long does it take for the car to stop. So from the first equation of motion, time t taken by the car to stop can be obtained as v is equal to u plus at. This is the first equation of motion, you remember now. So we have to find out the time t. So just modify the equation. So t become t equal to v minus u divided by a. So just substitute the value of v, u and a. We know a is equal to minus 3.06. So solving this you will be get minus minus cancel out. So the remaining term is after division it will be 11.44 second. So 11.44 second is the time that is taken by the car to stop. Clear? A player throws a ball upwards with initial speed of 29.4 meter per second. Initial speed is given. Question asked. A is, what is the direction of acceleration during the upward motion of the ball? So here you have to find out the direction of acceleration. B, what are the velocity and acceleration of the ball at the highest point of its motion? So here you have to find out the velocity and acceleration of the ball at the highest point of its motion. C is, choose the x is equal to 0 meter and t equal to 0 second to be the location and time of the ball at its highest point, vertically downward, to be the positive direction of x-axis, and give the signs of the position, velocity and acceleration of the ball during its upward and downward motion. And D option is, to what height does the ball rise and after how long does the ball return to the player's hands, and given G is equal to 9.8 meter per second square, and neglect air resistance. So these are 4 questions. Think about it. So first is, what is the direction of acceleration during the upward motion of the ball? The direction of acceleration is always vertically downward. Always vertically downward. So downward is the correct answer. Explanation. Irrespective of the direction of the motion of the ball, acceleration, which is actually acceleration due to gravity, always acts in downward direction towards the center of the earth. So when we throw a ball in upward direction, so when ball reaches at maximum point, after that the direction of ball is vertically downward. So vertically downward is direction of acceleration. If we talk about the B, what is the velocity and acceleration of the ball at the highest point of its motion? So at the highest point, the velocity is equal to 0 and acceleration is minus 9.8 meter per second square. Here minus sign because the direction of acceleration is vertically downward. Vertically downward. Due to this, here negative sign, this one. Explanation. At maximum height, velocity of ball becomes 0. Yes or no? So acceleration due to gravity at a given place is a constant and acts on the ball at all points, including the highest point, with a constant value, and that is 9.8 meter per second square. Clear? Third, choose x is equal to 0 meter and t equal to 0 second to be the location and time of the ball at the highest point, vertically downward direction to the positive direction of x-axis. So if we talk about the C option, so upward, if we talk about the upward direction, x is equal to positive and velocity is v is equal to negative and acceleration is equal to positive. Why? So during upward motion, the sign of position is positive according to sign convention. Sign of velocity is negative and sign of acceleration is positive. During downward motion, sign of position, velocity and acceleration all are positive. And downward, x is equal to positive, v is equal to positive and a is equal to positive. Next, D. To what height does the ball rise and after how long does the ball return to the player's hand? So 44.1 meter and time is 6 seconds. Initial velocity of ball is 29.4 meter per second and final velocity of ball b is equal to 0. At maximum height, the velocity of ball becomes 0. And acceleration a equal to minus 9.8 meter per second square. So, from the third equation of motion, height s can be calculated as v square minus u square equal to 2gs. So, substitute or we can say modify the equation, you will be get s is equal to v square minus u square divided by 2g. So just substitute the given values, final velocity 0, initial 29.4 and acceleration due to gravity is minus 9.8, and solving this you will be get the value of s. So it will be 44.1 meter. So from first equation of motion, time of ascent is given as v is equal to u plus at. So if we want to calculate t, so t equal to v minus u divided by a. So just substitute the value v 0, u minus 29.4 and a is equal to minus 9.8. So substitute the value, you will be get t is equal to 3 seconds. So time of ascent is equal to time of descent. Hence the total time taken by the ball to return the player's hand is 3 plus 3 equal to 6 seconds. Clear? Read each statement below carefully and state with reasons and examples if it is true or false. A particle is in one dimension motion. A is with zero speed at an instant may have non-zero acceleration at that instant, and B is with zero speed may have non-zero velocity. C with constant speed must have zero acceleration, and D with positive value of acceleration must be speeding up. So here you read the statement carefully and find out the reasons and examples. Think about it. So if we talk about statement A, so this is true because when an object is thrown vertically up in the air, its speed becomes 0 at maximum height. Yes or no? However, it has acceleration equal to acceleration due to gravity g that acts in downward direction at that point. So with zero speed at an instant may have non-zero acceleration at that instant is true statement. With zero speed may have non-zero velocity. This is false because speed is the magnitude of velocity. When speed is 0, magnitude of velocity along with the velocity is 0. So a car moving in on a straight highway with constant speed will have constant velocity. So B is false. If we talk about C, so C is with constant speed must have zero acceleration. This is true. In one-dimensional motion, velocity and speed either point in same direction, positive, or opposite direction, negative. If speed is constant, then the magnitude of velocity does not change. Since acceleration is defined as the rate of change of velocity, so if velocity is not changing in magnitude or direction and in one direction, it's just a sign, then acceleration equal to 0. If we talk about D, with 0 with positive value of acceleration must be speeding up. So D is false because this statement is false. The sign of acceleration alone does not determine if an object is speeding up or down, slowing down. Need to consider both direction of velocity and acceleration. For example, a car moving in negative direction to the left with positive acceleration. So if v is equal to negative, acceleration is equal to positive, means v is equal to minus 5 meter per second and acceleration plus 2 meter per second square. Object is actually slowing down despite positive acceleration. Need to consider the relationship velocity and acceleration. A man walks on a straight road from his home to a market 2.5 km away with a speed of 5 km per hour. Finding the market closed, he instantly turns and walks back to home with a speed of 7.5 km per hour. What is the first is magnitude of average velocity and B is average speed of the man over the interval of time. And the interval of time is 0 to 30 minute, second 0 to 50 minute and third 0 to 40 minute. Think about it. So, solution: time taken by the man to reach the market from home T1, that is equal to 2.5 divided by 5 is equal to 1 by 2 hour. 1 by 2 hour means 30 minute. Time taken by the man to reach home from the market T2. So 2.5 divided by 7.5 is equal to 1 by 3 hour. So that is equal to 20 minute. Total time taken in the whole journey is equal to 30 plus 20 is equal to 50 minute. So average velocity is equal to displacement upon time. So displacement is 2.5, time is 1 by 2. So solving this you will be get 5 km per hour. And let this is equation A. Average speed distance upon time. So distance is 2.5 and time is 1.2. So it will be 5 km per hour. Let this is equation B. So this is very simple questions. So second, time is equal to 50 minute. 50 minute means 5 by 6 hour. And net displacement equal to 0. So total distance 2.5 plus 2.5 equal to 5 km. Next, average velocity distance displacement upon time. So average velocity equal to 0. Average speed distance upon time. So distance 5 and time 5 by 6. So it will be 6 km per hour. Let this is equation B. So time equal to 40 minute. 40 minute means 4 by 6 hour. So distance traveled in first 30 minute is equal to 2.5 km. And speed of the man after 30 minute is equal to 7.5 km per hour. So distance traveled by the man from market to home in next 10 minutes is 7.5 into 10 by 60 is equal to 1.25 km. Next, Net displacement 2.5 minus 1.25, so is equal to 1.25 kilometer. And total distance traveled equal to 2.5 plus 1.25 is equal to 3.75 kilometer. So average velocity 1.25 divided by 40 divided by 60. So solving this, you will be get 1.875 kilometer per hour. So this is just mathematical calculations. You know the formula, just substitute the value and find out the answer. Average speed 3.75 divided by 40 divided by 60. So you will be get 5.625 kilometer per hour. Last question. A police van moving on a highway with speed 30 km per hour fires a bullet at thief's car speeding away in the same direction with a speed of 192 km per hour. If the muzzle speed of the bullet is 150 meter per second, with what speed does the bullet hits the thief's car? Note, obtain that speed which is relevant for damaging the thief's car. Think about it. So, speed of the police van 30 km per hour, in meter per second it will be 8.33 meter per second, and muzzle speed of the bullet 150 meter per second, and speed of the thief's car is 192 km per hour, so it will be 53.33 meter per second. Since the bullet is fired from the moving van, its resultant speed can be obtained as 150 plus 8.33 is equal to 158.33 meter per second. Since both vehicles are moving in same direction, the velocity with which the bullet hits the thief's car can be obtained as this one, Vb minus Vt. This is the relative velocity concept. So 158.33 minus 53.33 is equal to 15 meter per second. Clear? Thank you for your attention.